My hair is such a mess. You guys, Instagram says you are waiting to come here, but I have to tell you something.
Hi. I'm Bobby. I'm a robot cat. Many of you have expressed concern due to my lack of coverage of Adderall Lanny. Never mind, whilst I am branching out and expanding my content, I have not forgotten where I came from. Let us snark on Katie Joy's recent video on Instagram.
My hair is such a mess. You guys, Instagram says you are waiting to
What the fuckery is this? Has Todd convinced you to go for the Viking look again?
I have to tell
Stop
you
it.
something. This is like hysterical. So I've only done one video on my channel because I am so engrossed with the cult family conference.
Your evasion of the Thor shed is quite apparent.
You guys, I have been watching the active live stream of the cult family conference.
Madam, you are glitching again.
And I am seriously, like, mind blown.
Well, you did not have much to work with to
If you have not seen my
start.
brand new video, make sure that you check out my YouTube. I just posted one on Robin and Mary.
Absolutely not.
But so the IBLP is doing this like whole family conference right now, and it's being live streamed onto their
How
YouTube
exciting.
channel. And it is literally absolutely hysterical. And it's not hysterical in like a ha-ha way. It's kind of hysterical in these people really are
Oh, we all know you live in a never-ending funnel of hysterical.
so tone deaf and brainwashed that they literally believe that they are saving people's lives in prison.
Much like you literally believe you are saving people's lives by debunking cults on YouTube.
So it's the nightly talk, you guys, and SM Davis is the keynote speaker tonight. Now,
Well, we all know you won't be having sex with your
if
husband.
you're not familiar
Never
with
mind.
SM Davis, he is Caleb Williams' grandfather. Yeah, that's right.
Is this a date? I am not dressed appropriately.
So Caleb Williams' grandpa is like up on the stage and he's talking about forgiving your enemies. He did a whole speech this afternoon about pride, and he had this really random, allergies, I'm sorry. He had this whole thing on pride, and he was talking about this pastor friend that got in trouble in the 1990s. And he's like, yeah, he threw a kid at church, and he was like, he got in trouble. And I told him that if he just did a press conference, he might not get charged by the prosecutor for child maltreatment or abuse. And I just said, you just need to admit it. And maybe if you just do a press conference, because this whole situation was going viral. And I'm like, and he's going on and on about this
Are you all right?
super old story from 1994 to talk about pride. And I kept thinking, SM, you have an actual story that happened in 2021 that's way more relevant to your cult.
Why do you have a pet name for a cult higher-upper? You are smiling like an orangutan that just shite on a zoo guest.
Then this guy that threw a kid, which by the way is horrible, and he did end up getting charged and he was convicted of child maltreatment, so that's the good news, and he lost his ministry and he got fired from the church, so all of that is good news. Now SM was trying to get him out of the charge by saying he was sorry and he didn't mean to do this. Anyways, Um, I thought, why are you talking about this random guy from 1994? Why don't you talk about Josh Duggar? Like, Josh Duggar is your family friend, and he has a whole lot of pride. He's in prison right now framing your grandson. He's got his lawyers arguing in the appeals court that your grandson committed these crimes and downloaded child pornography. Why are you talking about this prideful guy that threw a child in 1994? You should be talking about Josh Duggar downloading child pornography or child sexual abuse material, and his pride that has him still in prison blaming your grandson for a crime your grandson didn't commit, though your grandson is a sex offender. I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth.
The level of absolute fuckingly when you speak on these topics is preposterous.
Sex offender, your other grandson, he is charged with child abuse because he totally kicked his, oh my God, horribly abused his stepson. So SM, your opinion on child rearing and being a good parent is and then you're telling the story about this guy from 94. I know someone who's literally been in the news that's been viral. And here's the whole thing is he was being very cagey. You could tell that it was he's talking about a big story in the news. It was he wanted to talk about Josh, but he's talking about this obscure random pastor that threw a kid at church, which is horrible, by the way. But there's far worse things that pastors are doing at churches that he could be talking about, sexually abusing kids or whatever. And he's like, oh, and the kid only had a rug burn. It wasn't even that bad. And he ended up getting convicted of a misdemeanor. So he has this whole long story about a guy that gets convicted of a misdemeanor, which, by the way, it's horrible either way. But why aren't you talking about the felons?
Well, go put on your best Fundy dress and ask him. You know you want to.
Why aren't you talking about the felons, SM? So then, get this. Then this evening rolls around. And they have all these people, they have these cute kids that look totally brainwashed singing, and they have no affect, and everyone's look super happy because they have that blank IBLP stare. And this guy from the prison ministry comes on, and he's just we are saving people in the prisons in Arkansas. We are doing so many seminars, you guys. We have been in Arkansas for 30 years. We go to all the Arkansas prisons. We are changing lives. We had 23 really bad guys get saved.
How many days have you been locked in your dungeon doing inappropriate things to streams hosted by polygamous? I am not one to kink shame. But, my God.
And we fixed them, and we made them go through the seminar, and the seminar plays 53 times a year in Arkansas's prisons, and we're recruiting and helping these people turn their lives around because we know that everyone makes mistakes. And I'm thinking, Arkansas, wonder why you're in Arkansas. Why is it that you're in Arkansas? Why is everyone in Arkansas recruiting for the IBLP, Jim Bob Duggar? So then they're and we go to Florida, which is where Michael Keller is. So Anna's dad is doing all his ministry, and then they're in Florida and in Arkansas. And they're recruiting all these people. And I'm but you guys, Josh Duggar was raised in your curriculum. How come he's in prison?
Perhaps you should write him a letter and ask him? Never mind.
Hello? And they're please pray for the ministry. We are saving lives. Don't you know that prisoners are people too? Prisoners are loved ones, and they're children, and they're somebody's brother and their fathers, and they need love too.
You remind me of this broad who used to come into the pub. She only ever patterned when she was having a spiff with her boyfriend. She would have topple over the stool ranting and raging. Never mind.
And we should just pray for them and love them, even if they say bad things about us, even if they criticize us, because those that criticize, that don't forgive, will lose their salvation. I mean, that's basically what they said.
This has been happening since roughly 27 BC. You fucking idiot.